Allah's peace and blessing be upon his last and final Messenger Muhammad, his companions, and all those who follow his teachings until the end of time. If you remember, we started a verse yesterday, and we couldn't finish the verse because it is very, very important and very wide to explain. That's verse 106. So we say we're going to take it today, inshallah ta'ala. Unfortunately, we couldn't start as scheduled for various reasons, unavoidable reasons. I will ask Shaykh to rehearse the verse so that we will remember what we actually started yesterday, and then we continue.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ما ننسخ من آية أو ننسها نأت بخير منها أو مثلها ألم تعلم أن الله على كل شيء قدير.
Allah says, "Ma nansakh min ayatin." We have never caused any verse to be nullified. Allah says, we never nullify any verse in the Holy Quran, nor cause it to be forgotten. I want to say how. Or cause it to be forgotten. You know it yesterday, but today you can't remember it. Because Allah has caused you to forget it. And you can never remember it. Not necessarily how. We surely going to bring better than it. Unless we bring better than it. Abuja or something similar to it, but in different form, unfortunately. Don't wonder, why is Allah doing this? Why wouldn't He leave people to do what they have been doing? Because it is Allah's revelation. Allah said, wait. Alam ta'alam, are you doubting it? Allah has the power and the capacity and capability and the strength to do whatever He wishes. Don't you think Allah can do anything? Okay, Allah is now exercising His power to abolish, to nullify, to replace, to supersede some legislations or some rulings or some recitation of some ayahs or the other ayahs, the ayah verses. Allah has the power to do that. Today, Mr. President Tinubu has the power to call upon the National Assembly to repeal any rule or to modify any rule or to suspend any rule. If the common human president can have power over his people, 200 and something billion Nigerians, to change their lives, to make them pay taxes beyond their earnings, when Allah is only taking only 1-2.5% per annum, but you're going to pay 7.5% for everything you do. Even 1 minute call, you call for NTN to Grow, or to Airtel, or to 9 Mobile, whatever, you have to pay that money to the government. And then if you have 1 billion naira or $1 billion, you only give 2.5% to Allah. And you give it to the people you want around you, people you like around you, people who are close to you around you. But this one, the government will take it. And it's up to the government to do what they said they want to do, or borrow the money, or collapse the money with their monies. This is more power. And are you doubting the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do whatever He wishes, whatever He wants? Allah is control over everything. No. Now, this knowledge of knowing those verses that were replaced or superseded, or verses that were nullified or abolished, or meant to be forgotten in the minds of men, that knowledge is compulsory upon every Shaykh, every knowledgeable person that wants to relate the Quran to his followers. You must know this, because if you don't know this, you are in trouble. This happened during the time of Ali. Ali entered the mosque and he saw some people, he saw one sheikh delivering sermon. He was admonishing people around him. And he was causing death to them and cursing them and dragging them to hellfire. When he asked somebody close to him, so what is this man doing? He said, this man is a very powerful and it's a very knowledgeable person. He actually is guiding us and admonishing us and telling us what Allah wants and what Allah is like. So I love very much. He's calling for me. So he called him. Young man, what are you doing? Do you have the knowledge of Nasir al-Mansur? The abolitionist and the abolitionist verses of the Holy Quran. He said, no, I don't know better. And you are preaching to people? You are going astray and you are driving people out from Islam. So get out from this house and never come back here again. But now we are in a situation, in the period where if you are banished from any mosque, then you can make your house a mosque. You just buy your smartphone and say whatever you want to say and distribute them, post it anywhere, all platforms around the world. This is Musibah. People are saying whatever they want now, online. Because people have freedom. Freedom to say, to abuse Islam and to disgrace Islam and Muslims and to disseminate lies and fake news. You don't have the news. But if the news is affecting the government or a particular person who has power, you are in trouble. You'll find it. The only people we don't find actually, they actually talk, but they don't see them in the network, are Boko Haram and the bandits. When they communicate with each other, they don't see the communications. They don't, because they have miracles, the Boko Haram and the ISIS and the kidnappers and the bandits. They have power not to be seen, not to be heard. All these are deceptions. So another day, some Prophet came to the Prophet and complained to him. Ya Rasulullah, yesterday I wanted to rehearse certain verses and I have memorized in my prayers in the night, but I couldn't remember them. The Arab says, Wallahi, virtues. Ya Rasulullah, it happened to me also. Another person, Ya Rasulullah, also myself, I couldn't remember also. He said, Wallahi, what happened to you happened to me also. I myself, I wanted to rehearse some verses which I know, but Allah has caused me to forget them. It's the power of Allah. You will not remember anything except if Allah wishes. So this sickness of dementia, this is sickness. What can be treated? But this causing thing to be forgotten, this is Allah's power. Nobody can remind you because He also has forgotten. This happens. Even in people who are very old, who have reached certain stage of life, they can't remember anything. Even their name, they have forgotten their names. They have forgotten the voice and the names of their wives and children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. They have forgotten everything. Everything they have forgotten. They can't even remember what is today. They can't remember. They even forgot how to urinate, where to urinate. No signal coming from the brain that you go and eat yourself in the restroom. All they have forgotten. So the difficult, while they're sitting down, whether they're lying down, whether they're eating or drinking, they just come out like that. This is Allah's power. You were a professor before, now you can't remember nothing. You can't remember nothing. This is the power. So Allah has the power to cause things to be forgotten and also to replace whatever He wishes, to enact rules that He wants, and also to abolish or replace also passages of verses, also ahkam that He mentioned. I'm going to read for you, give examples of some of these verses that there are many in the Holy Quran, and they are day to day, we are used to them every day, and Allah has blessed them with better ones, or some that are similar, but the same power and the same request from Allah to us. Let me one fasting was prescribed by Allah, you have the choice either to fast or to feed. If fasting is giving you wahala, troubling you, because we like to take ice cream all the time, or coffee, you used to go all around, you are used to a particular thing, and you think you can't actually stay for 10 hours without sipping a cup of coffee or tea or whatever, or any beverage, then you feel. Just feel more positive that day. Why? I have tired of fasting. You have not seen Allah at all. Then this verse was replaced. With what? Whoever is present in his family, not a traveler, not a sick person, not a minor, not an innocent person. Once the moon has been sighted, then fasting becomes compulsory for everybody. No substitute, no options. You have to fast, except if you are under these categories. You are a nursing mother. If you fast, the baby won't have enough milk to drink to feed. You are a pregnant woman. If you fast, the baby will have problem, won't have what to eat, what to feed with. You are a sick person. You can't fast. The doctor says don't fast, or you feel you can't fast. You know that you can't fast because of an ulcer, chronic ulcer. You can't fast, or your stomach or your intestine are very small. They can't actually retain what you have eaten for so much hours. So you need to eat all the time, intermittently. This must people, or you are a traveler, you are given the concession not to fast. In this case, those that will not fast, or you are too old to fast. This one you don't fast, you only feed. That's when you are going to feed the indigent, the poor people. Every day you pay one mud nabi, the measure of the Prophet Islam, you give it out every day, evening. But those who are pregnant or nursing mother, they are going to pay what they have taken for holidays during Ramadan. When the baby has grown enough to take part or any food that we eat, then the mother now has to fast, has to pay the number of days she actually can fast during Ramadan. The same thing would be the pregnant woman. Also, she has to pay. The traveler also has to pay. The sick also has to pay when they are all back to their normal lives. This will have to happen. So, another thing is that the most important is that the one Allah actually wanted to abolish, wanted to enact rules against drinking alcohol. Wanted to, So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us what happened. This one was the longest. It happened in 3 stages of legislation. Not one legislation. Like now, we are asked to pay whoever earns up to 500,000 naira only per annum must pay tax. 500 naira per annum is just a little above $100. No, sorry, $300. Because now $100 is about 114,000. So this is too much a burden on the people on the masses. What is 500,000? How many of us will take their families to a restaurant here in Nigeria, not outside the country, here in Nigeria? The cheapest food in the world, which is Chinese food, is the most expensive food in Nigeria. The cheapest food in America and Europe is Chinese food. But the most expensive of all food in Nigeria is Chinese food. Why? Why are we different from America? Why Chinese people coming to America sell their food cheaper than any food? And when they come to Nigeria, they sell their food higher than what is in any food. Why? Don't you have the government to check these balances? Why? If you take two friends or three friends or your family to restaurant here in any restaurant, you will spend up to 500,000 naira just at a home. So something that you will spend just like this is somebody's army for 1 year, and you have to pay tax, very exorbitant tax. Taxes will be paid 10%, now has become 25%. This tax is too much for us. But who has the power to say that? Let me quickly tell you what happened when Allah wanted to abolish drinking alcohol quickly. When Allah wanted to abolish alcohol, He did that in 3 legislations. The first one was the Sahaba were asking the Prophet, we've been drinking alcohol since our parents also drank alcohol, our grandparents also drank alcohol, we drink alcohol, but we didn't hear anything from Allah about this alcohol. And we've also been used to gambling and what's the revelations about this that we have been doing for a long time? And Allah said to them, they ask you about wine and gambling. Say to them, in them is great sin. Fihima ithmun kabir. In drinking alcohol and gambling, there is big sin. But also, there's also small benefits in them. But their sins is greater than their benefits. So slow down. Second revelation, this is first revelation. Then the second revelation, Allah says, all you who believe, stop drinking all the time. Stop drinking while you are about to pray. So people stop drinking between Zuhr and Asr because the period is so short. The alcohol is there. Then between Maghrib, Asr and Maghrib, there is short. Then between Maghrib and Isha, very, very short. So the only option is to drink in the night after Isha prayer, and then you have nowhere to go. So you stay at home and drink the alcohol, and then you fall asleep. So we didn't actually impress anybody. But then we said, okay, why can't we be providing in one place and drinking so that people impress each other? Because if one bottle can actually change you, can turn you on, can switch off your faculty of thinking, then somebody will take 1 carton, 12 bottles. Somebody can take 24 cartons, and so on and so forth. So they now begin to provide in the night in a particular house, and they call that house bar. Up to now. So they stop taking anytime near prayer time. Then the third one, which was the final, Islam will amr inna man kham wal maisr wal asab wal azlam rijtum min amr shaitan fajtanibuhu. All you who have believed, now you have learned the two stages. Now you are now entering into believer cycle. All who believe, indeed, intoxicants, liquor, wine, and gambling, and sacrificing on stones altars to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and giving in arrows about defilement from the work of Satan. So avoid it from today. Avoid drinking alcohol. Avoid gambling. Avoid stone altars. Avoid divining arrows. Avoid anything that is haram. And from that day, they said Medina was flooding. Everybody was taking his alcohol, his jug of liquor and pouring it outside. And Medina that was dry became flooded with alcohol. This happened also in America. When American economy was in shambles and there were many crimes, everybody was not safe. Nobody was safe in America. American government said, no, from today, no alcohol. You can Google it in YouTube. You will see the film. See the clip. America was flooded with alcohol. They learned this from what happened during the Prophet's. We're going to stop here, inshallah, because of time frame. And what more comes, we're going to continue. Tomorrow will be, inshallah, our last day for the tafsir, because our last day for the Ramadan Tafseer will be on Thursday. At that day, we will go to dedicate the day for questions, answers, and questions, inshallah. But if there are plenty, we can take some of them tomorrow. We can like Allah if we have time. I will stop here, inshallah ta'ala. What tomorrow comes will continue. May Allah accept our fastings, may Allah accept our prayers and supplications, and may Allah accept our fastings, and may Allah forgive our sins and shortcomings, and may Allah give us good health so that we will continue to worship Him and to ask for His favors and to ask for His paradise and protection from all evil things and apprehensions in this world.